I for Metal podcast episode 1. Finally,
Yeah.
let's try to see how this goes right now with our DIY setup here in our new spot, and I'm here with Alex.
Hello, Alex Siegfried. How you doing?
Yes, sir. So we kind of started a little late. We actually got a lot of stuff done with scheduling, with everything that we had to do. We reposted today on our DeathThrashTV on our IG.
Yeah.
The style, like the metal style, we're shouting out people who, love to rock different, styles like, metal. I mean, I like, people love leather still, even though it's summer.
Yeah. It's just a guy in jeans and boots.
Yeah. But jeans is like different. I mean, imagine wearing leather tights right now. There are some guys who are doing that.
No,
right
yeah, those guys are hardcore, and I respect that. I respect that.
Because it's like, it's I don't know.
Well, that's how I feel about Kush Frost. When we played last time at UFO, Area 51, it was like fucking 100 degrees in that room, and the dude from Kush Frost is rocking out, but he's got like a full like mask on, full chain. I'm like, I was dying being up there with all the lights and everything.
And just white.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't imagine. No, I was actually in a tank. That was pre-white Alex.
Okay.
And I was like, I couldn't imagine being in just a full thing. Like, the whole fucking
mask
hour.
is intense. A guy who I know wears a mask who drums is I forgot his name. He's a real sweet dude from Asphyxia.
Okay. Yeah.
Local underground. Like they've been around for a while. I forgot his name, but he wears his mask and I don't know how he does it. That mask must be like a motherfucker to just even see what you're doing.
Yeah. That's a big thing too.
Like
yeah.
I can barely see anything that's going on in the dark on my own fretboard. So it's kind of a tough thing. So we posted some people up who rock our sponsors, Bellatrix Armor. They you can go on there and check it out. Some of the stuff that they bought too. It's all custom orders, so you got to just go on there, hit them up, tell them your size, and I recommend that you measure yourself, your waist, whether it's a belt or your cufflinks, because you want to have some slack. You don't want to like just get anything so tight, unless that's how you like it. I don't know. If we don't judge here.
I still wear smalls, so
yeah, small shirts, basically. Yeah. Once I got skinny, I was like, I'm gonna get smalls because I don't want to have to say like, oh, now I gotta buy bigger shirts to conform to my body weight.
I was like, why am I gonna work out and try and look all big when I could just buy tighter shirts?
Yeah.
Right? Why? Don't put in the effort.
Reality.
Yeah, exactly. If you look bigger, then you're bigger. Who cares? You can't lift like 30-pound dumbbells. It's fine.
Okay. Vanity muscles, like you said.
Yeah.
I was noticing that. I actually feel like I lost a lot of muscle during the pandemic.
I've lost about 10 pounds.
Quarantine, excuse me.
Yeah.
10 pounds?
Yeah, of just straight muscle.
That's disappointing. Huh?
It's disappointing, but like it's my fault.
Yeah, but not really. It's like the whole environment. Everything changed. Like you went to a gym?
Yeah, I had a personal trainer and everything.
You trained like a metal?
And I ate like perfect. I ate the same thing. I ate Pollo Loco every day, just like only chicken. Like I was so good. And then quarantine hit, I'm like cereal, pizza, more cereal. I'm like, dude. And then of course I'm not working out at all.
Bunch of complex carbs, it's fucking everybody.
Milk and cinnamon toast crunch. Yeah,
that's really good. If anything, the problem with cereal for me is just that I can't have milk. So.
Oh really? No. My problem with cereal is I eat too much. Like I got these big bowls, and I'll get like 3 bowls. Like I'll go through a box in like 2 sittings, and I'm just like, that was 10,000 calories.
I wonder how many metalheads eat cereal. I bet there's a lot, but I mean, I feel like nowadays I've noticed that just everybody, if there's food at a fucking bar, like you could probably bet on 2 things most likely. I think it's like pizza and burgers.
Yeah.
Like you've been to locally around here. What is it called?
Down and Out.
No. Actually, there's a spot. Grill 'em All.
Oh.
Have you been to that?
I haven't been to the place, but I've had their burgers because I went to a burger competition.
Okay.
And like they brought in a bunch of local dudes and gals to all cook like their best burger, and you go around and you eat every burger. Sounds great. Eating 15 burgers was a nightmare. But you try all the burgers and then you rank them.
Right.
So I got to try Grill 'em All then. And I actually awarded that my favorite burger. It was really good.
Okay. Yeah, they got some creative burgers. That's pretty cool. I want to see. I wish there was more like stuff like that focused on like rock culture, hard rock stuff, and metal stuff like that.
But it's cool because they've had like Dave Mustaine come in and just like,
hey, Dee Schneider, I think too.
Oh, really?
To go there a lot, yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I think we had like a few things that we were gonna talk because there's a show coming up.
Not just one show.
There's a few, huh?
Well, I guess let me rephrase that. Not just a show.
Yeah.
The show.
The show.
The show. Your show.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Kush Frost actually is gonna play too.
Yeah.
Kush Frost.
It's the subliminal plug.
Death. Yeah. The Deathbed is the guy Frank who is from Death Camp. He plays in this band too. So he's kind of like the main band that's gonna play. But a few other bands that I think are gonna play too. Pagan Ritual.
Nice.
Local black metal. I guess.
So it's gonna be a light day, right?
Yeah,
a lot of light bands.
A lot of well, it's gonna be an interesting one. It's a mixed genre because he does a lot of extreme bands.
Yeah.
You see, when you see Death Camp's flyers, you know it's Death Camp because you can barely read each one. But I love that style. You know, it's really interesting because it draws me. You know, anything that's like really obscure that like really, to me like it's interesting. I wonder what they have to offer because extremity? I don't know if that's the word. It comes in all shapes and forms. So, like, the way they'll engineer stuff, the way they'll look even. Maybe they're average dudes that sound crazy, or maybe they're just something different, you know. So, I think that's pretty cool. But, yeah, Xaphian's going to play, too. And that'll be cool. That's going to be cool, finally. I'm more excited, though, to capture the whole night. I did invite other people. So, everyone who watches this probably next Monday, hopefully they'll know that when we do host an event, like when we're co-promoting, that they can feel free to come through because we can do like some live interviews like that.
Yeah.
Get some information, stuff like that, you know, from them, get to know who they are, and kind of like a free passive promotion in a sense, you know, without really thinking too much of it. So that's my goal this Saturday, to really capture as much people there. And
there's gonna be a lot of hype. And just like, not even like the talking and people going, I think people are just going to be very excited themselves. Like, I know everybody's been just cramped and just like in your space. You're not allowed to go and just like go to the shows you wanted to. Like, as musicians and fans, we kind of lost out on two things. We lost out on playing shows and going to shows, which are probably for us and every musician that's in a band, like, very important and integral to the type of person we are.
It is.
It's a release, right?
Yeah.
So it's like not having that. It's not like not even not having that. It's not having that and being forced to stay inside in all other aspects of your life.
Yeah.
So I think having this like nice release after 3 months or something is gonna be super nice.
And to be completely clear to anybody, we are not forcing you to go. You don't have to because there is a virus still out.
Yeah.
Maybe. I really have been very confused with media.
It's there.
It's most likely there.
It's for sure there, but...
And, you know, we don't... If anyone's feeling unsafe or if you feel like you haven't gotten tested and you may have it, sure, use your common sense, right, to maybe not expose yourself. Because if you know better and then you do come through and then you want to put a blame
and you live with, like, your grandmother.
Yeah, like, don't be a victim. You know, like... Man, nobody's forcing anyone to go. And I believe the Facebook event page, it says, you know, wear masks. I forgot what else do we have. I have the event right here, actually. And, you know, he's making sure that he can do his best to make everybody feel comfortable at the very least. Because, again, people are still going to come through. People are still going to play shows. And in the end of the day, you know, it says here, enter show at your own risk. Face mask strongly encouraged. If you are sick, stay home. You know, so he put it out there. So any dummy, you know, you were warned. But yes, because we're gonna try to see how this goes. It's been very weird with not only the riots and everything, but I mean the protests, the rioting, and the whole social media movements and the whole movement in general. Yeah, you're right. I think it's gonna be cool to have people come through and be about the music, you know. I had a friend of mine, she was like, don't involve politics with your music. Because even though, yes, it's an outlet, it's a medium? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, to express yourself, I believe that she really was trying to focus on having people to come through for the music, relate, and bring people together rather than kind of use that as a debating topic because it gets really heated.
Yeah, everything's very split right now. And I mean, I could go both ways. Like, you really do, like, if you're a musician and writing about the current events is your thing, go for it. Mm-hmm. Like, more power to you. But for those of you that don't, like, there is some nice aspect of it where there's some time of brevity between just being hit every post with just like coronavirus, Black Lives Matter, like everything. Super important. Very important. I don't want to undermine what those things are, what they do. Yeah. But every now and then it's nice to just have like a little getaway. Just a little getaway.
Twitter will fuck you up.
There's no break in Twitter.
There isn't. It really and that's like the double-edged sword with Twitter. Is you're able to see some of the most compelling, disturbing, fucked up stuff. Yet at the same time, if you overload yourself, you're gonna just really feel drained. And it's important if that happens to you, even with music. I'm sure that you can get bombarded with so much music if you're researching, and you're just like, I need to step away from all this type of crazy brutality. Well, we're gonna continue this podcast via voice because my camera just died. So.
Oh, no more batteries? Sadness. Shows canceled. Both local and like your national, like the people that you actually listen to most of the time.
I didn't want to see Merciful Fate.
Really? They were touring?
Psychofest. That was going to be in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's cool.
It was sad.
I know. I was set up to see. I had a bunch. I had 3 pretty big ones. I had the Devin Townsend. Obviously, I'm going to go to that. That's like my guy. Devastating because he was actually going to play a Strapping Young Lad song, which I've.
Devastated?
Yeah.
Devastated. Okay.
Like, I've never... He's been a guy he was in a band called Strapping Young Lad, and he left it, and he's like, I'm not playing strapping music anymore. And finally, after like 10 years, he's like, fine, I'll do a strapping song. And then the coronavirus hit, and it got canceled, and I didn't get to see it anymore. So that I got left out of. I didn't get to see... Oh, no, devastated. I was devastated.
Oh. I thought you meant...
See, that's what I'm saying about, like, Pandemic. It's like... If you look up Pandemic, you're like, what band is that?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Just
during quarantine.
Buzzwords. Yeah. So I was going to go to the Korn, Slipknot, Faith No More, Russian Circles show. Okay. That was going to be really good. I don't know if you guys have seen Russian Circles. They're I saw them open up for Mastodon.
Mastodon.
They are really heavy.
Okay.
They're an instrumental band.
Oh, that's cool.
They're super heavy. They're like...
So 7 strings, maybe? 8?
Honestly, I don't even think so, but maybe. It was one of the first times in my life where I was like, you guys don't need a band because you are so good. Like, you're not a band. You don't need a front man.
Oh. Okay.
Because a lot of times when I'm listening to instrumental music, I'm just, like, not captured by it. I find it... I being a vocalist, I'm very melody line driven. But just the sheer, like, force coming off of these guys and their tone and everything was so perfect that I couldn't imagine a voice heavy enough to keep up with it. So I was super excited to see that. Like, I've always wanted to see Faith No More. I've seen System and Korn, but I've always wanted to see Faith No More in Russian Circles again. That got canceled, obviously. I was going to fly out to Boston to see Rammstein.
Oh, okay.
Because I've seen Rammstein a couple times. Absolutely love the music. Like, one of my favorite bands growing up. Rammstein.
It's Rammstein.
Yeah, it's Rammstein.
Okay. For sure. It's German, right?
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
And for all the people that say that it's Rammstein or Rammstein, they literally have songs where they go, Rammstein. Okay. So there's no debate. But they put on crazy shows. I don't know if you've ever seen their live shows.
I've seen a few videos on YouTube. They're like, they're crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. The amount of fire that goes on there, it's crazy.
Surprised we haven't burned anyone yet.
Well, they call the front, like the mosh pit, essentially, the fire zone, fire.
Okay.
So I was going to go see that. That got canceled and pushed back. Obviously, we've had our own shows, like DFI, the band I'm in. We had shows lined up because we had just played the Vakken show.
Dude.
We lost, but hey, Consciously Dying and Darwin's Theory won, and those guys are cool and they're good, so go check them out.
It was a split decision? What was it?
Top 2 move on.
Top 2.
Darwin's Theory won, but Consciously Dying got second, got to move on. And unfortunately for those guys, the rest of the Battle of the Bands for Vakken got canceled, which sucks. But, so those guys, since we played that show, we had a lot of other shows come up and like approach us, because they're like, oh, we actually really liked you guys. Sorry you didn't win, but, come do this show. So that was really cool, and then everything got canceled. So it was like...
I heard from, I think, Vince from Vexum that you all have to just reapply again if you...
Yeah.
So basically, if you won this year, it didn't even matter. For those tournaments, you just had to reapply again.
Yeah, you just have to do it again.
And it's not like you get to really just get brought back in. You have to literally reapply and then...
And redo it again.
Yeah, see if you get taken up. Which maybe you might be able to get back in it. Maybe.
I think so. I mean...
But damn, that must be a motherfucker.
But of all the years to lose, this was the year to lose.
That's true.
It sucks for the winners, but as a loser, cool. Right? Like...
Never have I ever thought of...
I'm not happy that I lost, but hey...
it is what it is.
Yeah, I feel really bad for the bands that did win, and they deserve to win, but that sucks.
Well, shout out to Metal Assault for creating that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you call it? The mixtape.
Yeah. Yeah, Mixtape Volume 3's coming up. They've got a lot of cool bands coming on. I know Solar Haze, and I'm forgetting...
Flesh in the Machine?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
DFI. I'm
DFI.
on it. We put out a new song that only a couple people have heard, but it's not actually out anywhere. You can't listen to it. So that'll be cool. But yeah, so he's one of those guys that's still going. He's trying to do that. He's still trying to do this 8-bit album that he wants to put out. He's just kind of always doing something.
That's good.
Yeah, whether it's like shirts, mixtape, new band release. He kind of keeps everything going, which I really appreciate.
He does that. After so long, he is older than you and I. So
he's been doing it for like
10 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say 10 years.
It's funny because he has 10K, so it's almost like he got 1,000 per year. But I even thought about it, and I was like, damn, I would hate to have that scaling rate. Because you and I both, and even the team in general, and hopefully any other metal bands out there, like you should aspire to get the highest rate of growth, organic growth possible for analytics. But yeah, that's another topic for another thing. But I mean,
I think that's a testament to how hard it is.
It is.
Here's a guy that's put out consistently all the time. I don't know many metal bands in the LA scene who don't know who he is, right? Or have seen Metal Assault. I'm pretty sure that's something I knew about from Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, Metal Assault? Yeah, of course I've heard of that. And I came over.
Getting a name for yourself for sure is probably a bitch. Especially if it's he's technically a label. I wouldn't say he's a promoter, but he's a booking agent, I think. He's like a booking...
Yeah.
Somewhat like that, because he has that connection with the Viper Room. And I think...
And a bunch of other places.
Yeah.
I know he is Down and Out every week. He goes to Alex's bar a lot. Not Alex's bar. What's the other one? Pete's bar. Pete's place. Petey's place.
Yeah.
Love that place. Excellent sound.
You like it?
They have excellent sound.
Oh, that's cool.
Their sound and lighting is literally top notch.
Dope.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, there used to be another place back in the valley called Cobalt Cafe, and it shut down. But a lot of bands in the valley used to go there a lot of times. But I didn't know PD's was cracking. That's cool.
PD's is really cool.
What's the capacity there, you think?
Honestly, probably not a lot. It's not set up for like a big mosh area. It's probably well over 75. Okay. So you could. They're just like booths in the front. But little shout out to these guys. I think the guy who does the sound can also record you kind of pro shot. Wow. And since he has the sound recording too, you can get a live video for it pretty quickly.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do that for months, but every time I've had another show booked there, we either got mixed or the show got canceled or coronavirus, right? But I know it's something they do offer, so check those guys out. They're really good. And then what's the other one around there? We play with Corrupt.
Oh, there's another place, yeah.
Old Town Pub.
Oh, in LA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or is that in the valley?
It's in the valley.
Oh, it's in the valley?
Yeah, we play with Corrupt there. It's like a super, super small place where you're literally every band that I think played had to have at least one or two members off the stage. And the stage is an inch high. But the place got packed. People were there to listen to metal. You got like pool and just bar.
Nice.
Okay. Super cool spot.
Yeah, those spots should be a little bit more cherished. If anything, also people should reprioritize their. They should see where their priorities lie when it comes to coming out to a show, because everybody likes it underground, in a sense, like a house, to really have no rules, bring your own thing kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then again, going to these little spots, it'd be cool to really have a big crowd. You can eat. Like, I don't know. That's why I don't like sometimes the scene, because it's almost like they're trying to date. So it's like you're trying to go there. You don't want to eat. You don't want to, like, I don't know. You want to just party. You want to loosen up almost. And metal. I'm not saying. I just feel like a lot of people, for sure, are focused on just kind of being inebriated.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. So, which is cool, but again, it's like the show is what it is, and they should be appreciated more, because like you said, PD's most likely puts you at gives the perception of you guys playing a little boost, the lighting, the sound.
Yeah,
it really helps. It really helps. I mean, because I'm sure a backyard gig, all that rig, if you know how to rig it. Maybe it's like a give or take, but
PA.
Yeah, PA is trying to set that up, and it's just, I don't know. So yeah, shout out to that. I did also want to mention that you said I kind of lost my train of thought, because it was we were talking about Metal Salt and kind of a booking agent, and because I forgot Andrew, I think.
Andrew.
I believe he. I only said booking agent because he went on tour with Enforcer and
Warbringer. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, because of that, I felt like he had to have some booking experience, like as an agent, calling places. I don't know how he, I don't know what his role was with them, but again, I wonder how he does it. That's kind of where I was going with that, because that must be a lot.
He'd be a good guy to have on the podcast.
Oh, I would love to. Yeah. One time he did post that he wanted a podcast. He was like, podcasters, hit us up and everything, but I mean. We didn't have this setup yet or anything. So.
Yeah, and we're still growing.
Yeah, true.
Are you saying that 2 iPhones is not the optimal podcast setup?
I think it's the setup in 2020.
Yeah.
For DIY, this might be the lowest budget setup right now we have, because if you did have an iPhone or 2, you could go on the settings and change it to 60 frames per second.
True, I think we did that. But
it's different on the front camera, though, I think.
Stupid.
It's okay, though. In the end, though, yeah, you could change that, put 2 iPhones, interface. That interface is like $100 or less. Yeah. This, I don't know where I got it. You can go on OfferUp, get it cheap. This mic is completely fine. And then if you get a simple recording DAW, I don't know what's the cheapest, freest one. Reaper?
GarageBand. Oh, Reaper, but GarageBand's free.
GarageBand's for sure.
Assuming you bought
a Mac.
Yeah.
Assuming you have...
Shout out to our sponsor, Apple.
Yeah. Assuming that you also had another $2,000 for a Mac.
Yeah. Apple, if you want to sponsor our podcast, let us know.
Definitely. We'll have pairs here just for the
podcast.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So, what's a show that you would love to see right now? That a show of rebel big bands that said, we need money, we're gonna do it. Yeah. LA calls a forum, who knows, kind of thing that...
honestly, one that I would love to see again would be Archfire. Okay. Like, I've seen them probably 3 times in the past, year and a half, but those are guys that... It's not like I'm going to the forum, it's not like that. Last time I saw them was at the Whiskey.
Okay.
Sold out show, but those guys just have absurdly intense pits. Absurdly.
Hearing just... that technique, I never heard something so technical can be so brutal. And then I can imagine that pit I feel the pit moves you however the music, of course, goes. So that guy with his vocals and everything, I can't imagine how the stage presence is at the Whiskey. Yeah. Tight little area of pit too, so it's going to hurt.
And it's one of those things where it's like, you have the stage, and then you have the front audience, and then you have the pit. But with the way that the Whiskey, for anybody that's not been to the Whiskey, the way it's set up, is there's essentially a corner where they have tape, and you can't cross the tape because that's the exit, the walk path.
It's like a little walking path, yeah.
So you're cornered between the stage and the people in front of the stage, and then this tape with the guard being don't step on the tape.
Yeah, exactly.
So it gets really brutal pretty quickly.
It gets very hot in that motherfucker.
Yeah. So that's the mid tier that I've wanted to see. Obviously, Rammstein is like the stadium show that I wanted to see, just because those guys come like every 10 years, literally.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, yeah. What about you?
Big band?
Yeah,
that would have been cool. It would be. I don't know if Violence can even do the whiskey, because I feel like they need like a bigger pit. But I would love to see Violence again, because that pit really hurt. That pit hurts so bad.
Isn't it funny that like metalheads like judge it on pain?
Well, with Possessed at the whiskey, it was so tight that I was having to really lift my foot up like 5 inches up. Like I was like literally stomping, marching, so that I wouldn't fall down, because it was that tight. People are literally leaning on you, because how you said that walkway, they're just like, hey, like nope.
Yeah.
They're so on top of it, and it's kind of crazy with a sold out show when they do that. But with that intensity, I really had to pick my feet up. And Violence did the same thing, but it was bigger. It was like it was at the observatory in Santa Ana, I think.
Yeah.
And that was cool, because I just felt that everybody just knew everybody knew what they were in for, and that thrash, that really fast, exciting thrash. Everyone's just, they're tired. Sounds tired. Oh, this song, this song is going on right now, but I'm just so tired. Like, fuck it. And a lot of people really show like that, like a lot of heart.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool to see Violence with like maybe Sacred Reich, but and like I don't know, with Overkill, and just kind of make it a very thrashish kind of. That would be cool, because I just want something fast, something to run towards.
Yeah.
Although Archfire would be super fast too.
Archfire
in a different, heavier way.
Yeah.
Archfire,
like you more feel it like in your bones.
Oh yeah.
But thrash stuff is you kind of feel it in your muscles. You're just you're going, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Any local bands you kind of feel like you missed out on that you wanted to see? Because I've got like I obviously have a couple, but I have one that in mind for me.
A local band that I wanted.
I'll let you think about it, but
go for it. Yeah.
Mine was Disrupted Euphoria. I don't know if you know them. Super cool. I think they're out of like Ventura, rough area. We've played with them once. I guess the reasons I want to see them is, first off, their songs tell like a really good story. Mm-hmm. Everything is a story, whether it's like a fairy tale or like Vlad the Impaler to the Red Queen, but for what's that? Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. Like everything tells a very clear story. Their tone and the way they punch is super great. The guitarist has solar guitars, and he's running to a Randall Satan, so it's super like hot, just passive pickup stuff. And the singer is super energetic. Hannah, she's one of those people that's super diverse, like super diverse. Mm-hmm. She can do all like the, but then hit you with the, and like super clear. You can understand everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really good growls, really good clean singing. And the reason they come to mind too, other than the fact that they're really good, last time we played with them, they got cut off short because the venue has very strict rules about no playing past this time, because it's in like a semi-residential area.
You said the garage, no?
Yeah, the garage bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love that place. Love all the guys there. Super great guys. But something happened in scheduling between. Honestly, it could have been us that we played too long, or we took too long to get off stage, or something happened with us or one of the other bands where they got to play a shortened set, and I was like, damn. And then I was genuinely excited to see them play, and then watching them play was super awesome because they kick ass. And then their set got cut short, and that was like February 22nd, and I think the 2 weeks after that, like the quarantine happened, and I was like, oh, so it was just really bad timing on their part. Not on their part. It's bad timing on the world's part for them, for me to see them again, and I've been looking forward to see them for like months.
I saw they played with us. Well, excuse me, they played with the show that we helped promote for Thor's birthday, Bricks Rock Bar.
Bricks Rock Bar. Yeah.
And they were able to play a really good set. They played with, I think, Violent by Nature, Fallacy, Minority, Mantra, and Corvus. I believe that's all the bands. But as far as the whole night was good. I think Disrupted Euphoria for sure had a very unique and powerful sound.
Very
different than all the rest of the bands we played that night too.
They're not really thrashy. They're more like, I guess, progressive death metal.
Yeah, I would call it that.
It's such like a throwaway genre.
Yeah, it is very vague still. Like, to me, it's still vague to kind of call them that a little bit.
No, I agree.
Don't, because, does death metal include cleans?
Well, so here's my thing. Technically, we say DFI's a progressive death metal band, but in my mind, the only thing that makes us death metal is the fact that I do some growls, and I mean, we're into lower tuning, but then we're not really progressive in the sense like, oh, this is a 9/8 and it's 20 minutes long. We're only progressive because I sing in clean vocals compared to death metal.
Sure.
Right?
I can see that too, because progressive doesn't have to be just to one instrument.
Yeah, it's not pure death metal, it's just progressive because it doesn't have 100% harsh vocals. So it's like I'm saying death metal, but progressive is undoing the death part of that. So it ends up meaning nothing when it comes to describing my band. And
it's a good idea, though. It gives a good, vague idea. And you're like, okay, well, there might be harshes, but then when you do maybe the cleans, people are like, hey, I like that, because, melodies and stuff. But it's pretty, it shows. And plus, you got a good voice. In the end of the day, some people may not agree. Regardless, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter, because you will see the talent right there. Like how you said, the girl, for example, she sings.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, that's one thing. But whether she can sing, that's another thing. Which she's actually in her melody, and it's not flat. It's not shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The skill and the talent is there. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, I think that's even. We could do 20 podcasts on the necessity or intricacies of metal subgenres if you really wanted to. There's so many.
There's a lot, because with subgenres, especially with LA, I think LA is focusing on subgenres because I think it's trying to focus on revamping or bringing a new generation to do the same thing again, just in their own way, and then they want to, kind of rise to the occasion. But it's almost like if you have an old school death metal band, a bunch of them are going to try to be their own way, their own sound. They'll all be a little unique, but every one of them want to try to be as influential as the people who they grew up with.
Yeah.
I don't know. We were saying earlier that there is something good when it comes to a little bit of healthy competition, and so some of the bands want to feel like they can kind of rise above because of the skill they got, because of the content they talk about, and kind of go from there. So I've noticed that when subgenres start forming in the scene, it's in LA at least, they all have a tendency to try to stick to something first and see how they can do. Like Pagan Ritual, who's going to also maybe play this Saturday, it's kind of like a black metal band.
Yeah.
But what kind, right? And then from there, they could be like, we're going to do whatever we want kind of thing. And maybe there's not a lot of black metal bands around in the LA scene, but there probably is. We just don't know. And in that genre, in that field, I don't know which one of them feel like they're going to stick around and become the next Mayhem or whatever it is. I don't know. Or yeah, sure. Because with a household name, eventually, that's going to happen to musicians whether they like it or not, because if their music's really good and targeting for that, in 10 years, for sure they'll probably have a name.
Yeah.
So it's going to be you'll get your right to really have your place in history, especially with LA, coming from LA, but I think that because there's so many subgenres and because a lot of musicians are also liking a lot of stuff, they're going to all start off trying to do something first and then maybe watch it all kind of bleed. Watch Pagan Ritual try to sing, trying to do those Varg singing stuff and Fenris, Fenris.
And Batushka.
Yeah, those fucking Halo singing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Watch them, and maybe they didn't start that. Maybe they didn't do it like that. Maybe they sound like Morbid, with Dead's early stuff, and then they just transitioned to. But in the end, I really see a lot of bands trying to stray away from the subgenres because they're gonna be I want to be me.
Yeah, but I think also, to be fair, it's I don't think anybody. You take any band. I don't know how many of those guys actually knew what genre they were when they were doing it.
True.
Right?
Yeah. Like thrash.
Yeah, when did thrash become a thing?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think they referred to it as speed metal until like 83, 84-ish, right?
And that's why speed metal is an obscure genre.
To me, it's a silly genre.
It's just like speed.
Fast metal. And people are like, I'm like, name one speed metal band. Like, Priest. I'm like...
But there's like, and like...
Maybe.
Or like...
some of them.
Because I feel that, okay, if you're going to call yourself a speed metal, would any song on that album be, could a song on that album be slow? You know?
Yeah.
Is
there a fade to black?
Yeah, like, you know, so calling things speed metal, I mean, maybe you can kind of just have an idea of it, but to kind of rep it where you say, I like speed metal, and some people could disagree with this, I get it, I understand that some people for sure have an idea of what a category from the 80s and 90s like speed metal is, but speed is just really one of the most vague terms to describe, because it could go fast and slow.
Exactly. So to me, it's like the opposite of speed metal would be like doom metal. But doom is a very like ethereal setting. Yeah. It's a setting. It's not
slow metal.
Yeah, right? Slow metal. Like, what? Short bus metal or something? But like, yeah, so it's like you can't have speed metal and then just be like, oh, well, any band faster than this. Okay, it's Archfire speed metal. They play 350,000 BPM. Like,
that's what I'm saying. So then everybody just, that umbrella term just gets...
To be fair, though, we're in our early 20s, so it's like, what do we know about music that came out 10 years before we even were born?
We have an open mind, so it's not like we won't...
I'm not trying to shit on the genre, I'm just saying it's the name of the genre is silly, and to get back to my primary point of, like, Metallica, were they like, we're going to be a thrash band, or, like, and any of those guys.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true for, like, certain bands, but... I would say that's only true for bands that fit in the larger subgenre groups of specific death metal, thrash metal things.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really interesting question to bring up.
Yeah,
a really interesting kind of topic to kind of discuss and think about.
Because a band I like, Igor. I don't know if you know, they're French.
Oh, sounds familiar.
It's not Igor 3 R's because 2 wasn't enough. It's like. Yeah, triggered. They're a French band, so they're metal. Okay. So they have chuggy stuff, but they have like Baroque, like classical music type stuff, and then they also have like Baltic music, which is like south of France.
Oh.
So they mix like chugs with an accordion, like, and then also like these like type vocals, and it's like. What? And then the dude makes up his own language to scream just Oz anyway.
Sounds familiar too. Yeah.
So it's like, how are you going to even try and classify that?
Yeah.
There's no point. It's just progressive. And I feel like so much music outside of this traditional progressive genre, like if you look at the traditional progressive bands like Periphery, Tesseract, like Devin Townsend, so many other bands are doing progressive things not in the progressive genre. This is why I'm annoyed by the term like progressive metal, and it usually like applies to like this very specific thing. But I think a lot of bands are doing a lot of progressive things.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just not progressive metal.
Yeah, like even my band would like to call itself progressive, but I think it calls itself progressive in the sense that it likes to be complex.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it likes to, but complex how? We call ourselves Death Thrash. And in the end, the way it tries to blend two different styles of like a very dark death metal heaviness with a very fast thrash upbeat mixture, and kind of crossing that between each other and having the complexities of maybe like bass licks and all this stuff.
Yeah,
I see where it becomes progressive, but in the end of the day, also it's very weird to still call it that, because I still feel that there's some black metal vibes to it. My voice kind of resonates more to a very like gritty black metal sound, so it's kind of very different for me. But yeah, subgenres is going to be pretty interesting to see in the next 5 years, just alone.
It's too mixed. I honestly, at this point, it's like the color wheel. Like if you just start with red and yellow and green, it's like, or I guess blue. It's like eventually you're just going to have this brown hue because everything's mixed with everything, and it's just like. Boy, we're going to get to post-genre, like poppy.
Oh my god. I never understood that either. What post meant in general. It's just like after.
It's a transcended term from prog.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's like, well, we're not prog anymore.
They're not protos and they're not before, so I get.
Yeah, it's like, well, we mix hip hop, R&B, gent. And it's like, all right, we're post metal. We're a bunch of things. Like, all right, okay. It sounds snobby, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, right.
Like it's probably what's metal. Next,
like a trap metal.
Trapped or
headstrong. Freaking trap.
Dude, can we be the Headstrong podcast? Can we do everything we can to try and get sued by Trapped?
Yeah, that'd be cool. A civil suit. I think the people would go for us
against Chris Brown. Yeah. I think no matter
the other
what,
Chris Brown.
the worst Chris Brown, I guess. But like, no matter what we do, if we just got sued by Trapped, people would just be like, the other guys are probably right.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would even try to go for that. I think they would just try to, Twitter war with us.
Well, what was it? Maybe he's got to find the right band, but I felt bad. We were supposed to play with this band. I want to say Pain of Salvation, but I know that's like that prog band. I'm not thinking the right one. What is their name? Anyway, I can picture it in my Captor of Sin.
Oh, Captor of Sin? Okay.
Captor of Sin. Yeah, they were the band that we were going to play with, and I think we either played with them or something happened or we didn't play with them. But the next time I heard them, I was like, oh, this band, I've never heard of them. And they're like, oh, that used to be Captor of Sin. I'm like, okay. What? They're like, oh, they had to change their name because that's a Slayer song, and Slayer told them to cut it out, I guess. Okay. A cease and desist, a C&D.
Yeah.
But, it's just the name of the song. Like, how are you going to...
Oh, no. I mean, Relapse previously was Violent... Well, it was... Thor's band, Violent by Nature, used to be Relapse.
Oh, and Relapse Records.
Relapse was like, hell no. Relapse Records was like, hell no.
So that's on one level where it's like the name of an organization. Like, I'm not going to name my band Apple or, Tesla or something, right? Oh, actually, there's a Tesla.
There's a Tesla.
Elon, you're late.
Yeah, dude.
Tesla. Sue Elon Musk.
For real. Yeah, that's stock if you didn't know.
Yeah, it's only at 9:40. There's plenty of place for it to crash. Anyway,
Tesla band and deserves some.
I think so too.
Oh, man.
Who knows how much of Elon's success has been because of
Tesla's
the 70s or 80s rock hair metal band Tesla.
Rockish more, yeah.
But what's it? So I don't know. People can do things to get in their name.
Yeah, clout chasing. I mean, might as well just try to call our podcast the Headstrong Podcast.
The Headstrong Podcast.
That guy's voice is. I haven't heard much stuff that has changed with him because I checked out that page recently because of all it means and their music. The look of trap looked more. I can't believe we're talking about trap. They looked a little bit more extreme, more metal, and I was like, "What's this guy's voice like? Still, it's still singing. It's still they're
like Godsmack, but worse." Okay, right? That's how I view them. It's kind of, and I hate to use this term because I actually listened to a lot of these bands when I was younger. Confession, but now looking back on it, it's kind of like bro metal. It's just very just gym metal, right? It's very just that dude that's on steroids that's just ripping curls.
Yeah, it's the metal that the casual testosterone driven guy needs a little bit.
Or the wife beater kids. I've seen trap described as
I think so.
Just domestic abuse metal or something. It's just really sad.
There's a direct correlation with trapped listeners and domestic abuse. That's that's their.
It's those Five Finger Death Punch, all those.
Oh yeah, those guys. So, yeah, bro metal.
Yeah. Okay. When I was in middle school, I liked the first album more than I should have. I think, but I was new. But
would Killswitch Engage being part of that, or what? Is that still more metalcore now?
No, yeah. That to me, that gets the hardcore thing. Killswitch is one of those bands I can't do core. The vocals just kill it for me, but Killswitch is right on the edge, where it's that is the cusp.
Okay, because of what? The voice?
Their songwriting is really good. His voice is really good, but it's not...
What was that singer's name? What's his name?
Jesse?
That's the
Jesse's
the one now.
Yeah, Jesse's the white guy, and then the guy with the better voice, in my opinion, is Howard. Howard's clean vocals.
Howard's clean is awesome.
Nuts.
They're awesome. They're so awesome.
Absolutely nuts.
They feel really cool. I mean, I think they're unique, and they just have. I've never been a hater of that voice. Like, I think it's dope. Vocals. I don't know how he does it now though. If it still keeps up.
I think he holds up. He was on the new track. He sounds great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, they did one with both singers, which is cool.
See, that's some cool stuff. That's some real good musicianship unity right there. Like, to just be like, or maybe it's money. I don't know.
Well, and then they were going to tour together, Howard's band and Killswitch. So I was hoping, I was like, dude, what if they like play the song together, or he comes out to do like Holy Diver or like some of his stuff? Because like that would, not to blaspheme the names of the gods, but that would be like Dio or Ozzy Osbourne touring with Dio Sabbath.
That would be true.
Or Dio touring with Ozzy Sabbath, and then like they switch songs. Like, oh, okay, Ozzy, come and do Iron Man, and then Dio, Ronnie, come here and do like Stargazer. Well, Stargazer says, do Heaven and Hell. Do you know how badass that would be? Awesome. That would be so badass if we were able to see that. That would never happen legally, and they like.
Well, they're dead. They're close to dead.
One's Ronnie, but yeah, if bands did that for Future, I can't even think of like any modern-ish band besides Killswitch that has had like a different change of singers. Yeah, where that band the singer's band has then continued to grow just as much as the original.
Yeah, that's true. There's not that many.
I mean, even Howard's band is like not that big compared to Killswitch.
Yeah, like off the top.
I honestly can't name a single one.
Mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Immortal.
Immortal too.
That's a good one, probably.
If
you want to count Batushka and have the two Batushkas play together, even though it's a legal dispute right now.
Yeah, so that's why it's I wouldn't know that many bands either that can do that. I think there's only maybe Anthrax too.
Yeah.
Because some people and Exodus.
To me, Joey Belladonna is Anthrax, but that's my point of view.
That's true. I like that.
Oh, Iron Maiden. Not that his solo stuff did much, but those two albums are so iconic that you could.
Didn't Lizzie have different singers too? I think
well, maybe. Phil died.
Yeah,
he was the singer. So I think they continued on after him.
Yeah.
But he did die. So
I think so. I think Thin Lizzy also. Yeah. But yeah, there's a few. Yeah. Vocal influences, huh? So
you want to keep going or wrap it up?
Yeah, no.
One more.
Keep going. Yeah.
So you want to go along with it? So the next thing that we have that we want to talk about to kind of divert back to what we were originally talking about, there have been a lot of time. Let me restart. They're being in the quarantine that we're in now. People have been caged in terms of what they can do creatively. As a band, you can't just be like, "Hey, check out this flyer for the gig next week. Hey, here's video footage from our show last week." Like, being the person who's half responsible for a band's profile, it's like, it's so easy to do that. Here's a picture. Here's a show we're going to be playing, right? Having that taken away from us and everybody, I think, has really forced some bands to be creative or to put out something that they find interesting to grab their audience, because you can't just rely on what you're doing physically. Yeah. You have to come up with something. Yeah. You have to come up with something.
Or retire. Just retire.
Or retire.
Yeah.
That too. So I think saying that, I'm curious to see what you and I will talk about a little bit, what the best release, like, quarantine band video you've seen. I've seen a couple from, like, some major people and from some smaller bands. But does anything come to mind for you?
For sure, Hammer, I think, released their Hammer with their album Immortals. They, I think, have a video called Armed and Dinged. Armed and Heavy. I don't want to. It's Armed and something. But they released a video. I think a music video.
Nice.
So that's badass. I mean, I don't know what other bands' resources are and their priorities are, but I think local bands have really lost sight of what the biggest advantage of a music video could be for. You know, like, it's very creative. You can obviously go very simple and just make it live, or maybe go creative and do so. I think these guys, for example, they went a little bit more creative, and I think it's them playing someplace. I think it's called Armed and Heavy. and it's right here. Yeah, so it's dope. 1 month ago. So yeah, during quarantine for sure. Quarantine, and just to I'm not gonna really try to play too much of it. I just kind of want to see visuals as far as stuff. But yeah, look, the visuals wise, like you can kind of see that it's them.
Yeah.
At a spot. If you guys want to go check that out, it's called Hammer.
You guys should check it out.
Yes, you guys should, because very unique type of band that's starting up.
Huh? What type of music?
So kind of like a Black and Death thrash. Okay. This song for sure is fast too, and it's mostly all rhythm too. Okay. So if you're one of those weirdo solo elitists who like hate on bands or whatever that doesn't have solos, this may not be for you. But if you're a really open-minded person and cool, check this band out, because I think it'd be a really cool little clip and experience to see the vibe and the energy that these guys will have to show you guys, what is in store for playing live, to go to their live shows,
Yeah.
That's always, this is creative too, because I feel like just off the bat you can tell, how they're trying to show and get you to perceive them, as far as performers. It's creative. If you don't know how to do that as a local band, maybe you got to do more research. Maybe you got to keep saving some money. Ask around. You can ask DeathThrashTV, maybe, who knows, or other promotions. But for sure, it's something that should get people to really be creative. I don't know when they did this, but for sure now's a better time than any time to really get a music video done, or even a lyric video. I don't know. There's a lot of software you can outsource people on Fiverr, if you don't know. Yeah. There's probably a lot of video editors and who got like Adobe Pro, all that good stuff to record and edit visual stuff. So that's the only real one that I can think of off the bat. You said you had a few.
Yeah. Well, so that's on the local end. Mm-hmm. I think we should try and do one of each.
Sure. Yeah.
On the slightly bigger end, there's not many people bigger. Metal Injection put out this thing called Slay at Home, which is obviously a play on Stay at Home, and they just got a ton of bands to do like a song or two.
Tesseract. Cool.
Yeah, Tesseract, Legion, 12 Foot Ninja, who's like one of my favorites. Zeal and Ardor put out one, which is incredible. Silver Tomb, like Astronoid, like a lot of people. They even have some. They even put some like, I guess, super groups together where it's just people recording different parts. It's really cool. It's really well done. It's just nice to see like some of your bands that you wanted to see play.
Sure, yeah.
Like another band that I love is The Offering. They did something similar. I forget who they're signed to, but they just did one too. Ugh. See, The Offering always comes up with Sleep Token. That's not
Sleep Token. The Offering.
That's actually how I found Sleep Token, and I do like that album, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so this band, The Offering, they did something similar with their label. Some really cool bands in there. Beast, do you know them? It's like Baest. It's Beast, but they switched the E and the A.
Oh, okay.
Those guys are super heavy. I don't know. So those are the two for me. Let's check out The Offering and check out the Slay at Home Festival. I'm sure you'll find one band on there that you like, or listen to it, and you'll find a band that you had never heard of that you like.
Would you say it's kind of more contemporary metal? So like maybe for sure something that's not too much of an old school vibe, but more of a
it's
modern kind of a little bit feel
this millennia.
For sure. Yeah.
It's weird to think that like the past 20 years is considered new in the metal scene, but
contemporary for sure. I mean, in the sense that like with the gear, the more knowledge and experience with different tunings. Not saying that it didn't happen before 2000s, but it's just that the contemporary bands more or less. So I don't know. Like, did Stay at Home offer most bands that were like about no more than 20 years old, right?
Oh yeah, no, they were all pretty new from what I can see. Because those are just the people who are on their label.
Yeah, sure.
Currently.
Yeah. Metal Injection has a label? Wow, where have I been?
Well, no, I don't think it's their label. I think they just put it together.
Oh, Metal Injection just put it together?
Yeah. So I don't know like what the label side of that would say.
Takes a village, for sure.
It for sure takes a village, but if you like a village of metalheads, that's kind of a good place to start.
Maybe not even metalheads, maybe just people who can get the job done but hopefully metalheads too, to kind of have influence. You know, I mean, it'd be funny if like you go to Metal Injection to apply for any position, and it'd be really funny if it wasn't a requirement in any of them to like metal. You're like, okay, nice. You know, it just helps, which would be cool. But it'd be even be more interesting to see if like you try to apply at like Loudwire and you needed to have some experience in metal.
They typically do. Like I've tried to apply to Sumerian. I think is out here. I've applied to.
That's a band, actually.
Sumerian.
Mm-hmm. Sumerian. Yeah, I forgot where they're from, but that's a band that I have on our list.
Shout them out. But Sumerian Records, hopefully the same thing doesn't happen.
Yeah, I know. maybe the spelling is always different, you know. And I don't know how much that can help you, though.
Yeah, no, there are a few bands. One band, I'm not going to call them out, but one band that you mentioned yesterday, I was like, that band already exists, like, like, they're a well-known band, but there's a one-letter difference, but it's the same word. Mm. I'm kind of like, that's a whole other thing. It's being in a metal band, trying to find a name, or just trying to do anything that's messy. Yeah, right. But anyway, those are the things that I wanted to point out. I'd love to hear your guys' comments or anything that you've seen. Let us know. Try and share.
Yeah.
Just in this stage where like people are forced to be creative, and I think we should promote the people that actually come through and are creative.
Yeah, definitely.
Local or big. Local's obviously great for what we're trying to do.
Yeah. No, we highly recommend everybody on the comments, like, you know, tell us what you guys think, you know, with all the bands that you like who's your favorite Slay at Home, and who's one of your favorite local LA or local to your area metal bands and or obscured extreme music, because some extreme music is not necessarily metal, like hardcore or punk. Yeah. You know, but we would like to know what your favorite local extreme band is. That'd be pretty cool too. In the comments, be nice in the comments too. Don't be trolls and bullies, because that's gonna be the worst thing, that like people just go on our podcast comments to just attack each other. We have the power to just take it away though. But
censorship.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I've had to censor a few things in my life.
Damn.
Some people will just like come out hating so hard, and I remember the one day I woke up. It was like 6 a.m. and this dude from Australia had posted in the meantime, and I woke up and I was like, that may be the meanest comment I've ever read in my life. And I was just like, it was so early, I just didn't want to deal with it, so I just like deleted it.
Okay.
That's the only time I've deleted a comment, and it's because I was just mean. I was like,
I feel like
it's just no need.
You know how you were like, it's just hate, but it might be so much hate that it's almost, to me, comedic. Like, I just can't, it's almost like, you can't be that serious with the hate. Like, because I almost feel like, or maybe I'm just a little, like, tripping, but it's almost as if somebody wants to hate so bad that they get so creative that it's like a love-to-hate thing. All right? And then it becomes kind of just like, it just kind of contradicts a little bit. Because it's almost like you love hating. It's like it comes from a really, like, envious, and it's, I don't know, it's very weird. I just find it comedic.
I think that was actually something that we were going to talk about, but we could save that for a later podcast.
Sure.
It's like the meanest thing somebody's commented or has told you.
Damn.
Everybody goes through hate. Everybody gets it. Like, you could be... I don't know, you could be like Ozzy, and like Ozzy gets hate. Like, everybody. Even like the infallible gods.
Some people don't like Lemmy. I was even like Lemmy from Motorhead. And I know that sounds weird, but like I feel like there's some people who will project things that they just don't like. And then they'll be like, I don't like him because this is that. There might be some haters of Lemmy too and everything. But again, it is, in this world, there's no absolutes. In this podcast, there's no absolutes. So...
the only absolute is that you're here listening.
Yeah. And for sure, like we said, it's kind of crazy that no matter what it is that you're trying to do as a genre, the biggest haters will never really faze you, because, people who own it, will just persevere through.
Yeah. Sometimes they will faze you, but you just got to push through, for sure. Everybody's gone through grief and shit, right? You have to swim through the shit to get through the treasure island.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
I made that up. Hopefully you just don't open up the treasure chest and it's just
more shit.
Yeah. So imagine that, dude. How sad.
That'd be the gloomist. I think that's why never mind, I was going to say something. I was going to go really morbid right now. But yeah, hopefully everybody in the pursuit of happiness ends up opening that treasure and finding what they wanted. So
find your own treasure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether it's wealth, happiness.
The 4 pillars.
The 4 pillars.
Health, wealth, love, and happiness.
There you go.
Yeah. So hopefully y'all think about those 4 pillars and realize if you're in the right fucking business for creating a band or not. My best of luck to you. Hopefully DeathThrashTV can help you. But you have to pull your own weight and then some.
Tell all your bandmates that you love them.
Yeah.
You haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah.
I know my band I haven't seen for like 2.5 months. I'm like, that's weird. We gotta start practicing again.
And if you hate your bandmates, you might have a problem, a deeper issue. If you don't,
that's a good. I didn't touch the mouse.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for another podcast. Is like band beef and how to deal with it.
Band beef. That sounds like a new Farmer John fucking brand. Band beef.
Spicy and mild. Band beef, now deal with it. Because I know, you're essentially a manager. You're essentially a manager for a business if you're in the position in a band. Yeah. You have to manage the people in it. You have to manage expectations. You have to deal with the relationships between all the other members. Mm-hmm. It's a complicated job, but
it's work and play. Yeah. And it's just weird.
Yeah, you're just trying to manage people, and managing people is not easy.
No, to make 5 people do something at the same time, let alone your roadies, you got me effed up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a big thing when we just added a keyboard player, relatively new, and I was so happy with how our band was as a 4-piece. Mm-hmm. We meshed and gelled really well together, and I was like, I don't want to bring in a 5th person, because you never know, because at that point you're splitting it, it can go 3-2. It's just anytime you're adding another person, you're adding another dynamic, and you don't know how it's going to affect the mix of your band. Mm-hmm. And thank God Mickey's awesome and he's great and everybody gets along well together. But anytime that happens, I'm super nervous.
Yeah,
you just never know.
Of course, yeah, and it's something to think about for sure. Tread lightly with a lot of people. A lot of you should tread lightly with that because you said it well. And if anything, we'll touch up on that topic on another podcast. But for sure, that's something to think about for a lot of you guys. Hopefully, you guys question what it is that you guys are going through and never stop persevering for that. Because it does take a lot. All the drummers are taken, by the way.
Finding a drummer is what took me 2 years.
If you're in LA, all drummers are taken.
Yeah.
Download Easy Drummer. Easy Drummer.
Yeah. It literally took me 2 years to find a drummer. Literally. And then finding a drummer is hard. Finding a good drummer that can play your music that's not a dick is you got a couple of those. Literally a couple of those.
You can do a course all on that.
Yeah.
Signs what to look for.
Thank you, Steve, my drummer. Much appreciation to Steve.
Thank you, Kumar, for being in my band.
Thank you, Kumar.
Yeah, dude.
To all drummers, we love you.
Drummers. Yeah, for sure. And on that note, we'll probably end it here. Thank you guys for joining. Again, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social medias to keep updated with what's going on in LA and other news. But yeah, from the Eye for Metal podcast, I'm Justin and
I'm Alex. And let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Comment down below whatever you guys want to talk about. So yeah, cheers, guys. Thank you.